Welcome to KocoSports. I am the huge one, aka the idiot Dave Koco from Wrestle AM, a podcast on YouTube, KocoSports, wherever you find podcasts. And whenever AEW, Noah, WWE all decide to run events at the same time, I also stream on twitch.tv/KocoSports. And I am with my tag team partner, the human one, Boom Boom. Boom Boom shaking the room. Welcome in, sir.
Well, it's good to be here. Good to be back. Hope everybody's having a good weekend.
All right, so we asked the internet infantry the most important question in the world. What did you think of the event? Win, loss, or tie? What did you think about it? Put it down in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, share it to everyone you know, including your Aunt Susan. If you have an Aunt Susan, you got to send it. Hi, Aunt Susan. How you doing? Anyway, boom, boom. You want to start with the tough questions? Win, loss, or tie? What do you give the pay-per-view?
I'm going to give it a win, a big solid win. Not quite a perfect, but it was, believe it or not, inching towards that territory for me. It didn't get there, but it was getting close.
I think, like, when you can count the mistakes on one hand and you're a nitpicker like myself, that's a good show. That's a good show. I'm giving it a win, and on top of that, I think they bounced back, and I think everyone in the company did the right thing, except one person. I think one person was like, stop. Like, I just want to, like, what are you fucking doing? Just stop. But we'll get to that. All right, Boom Boom. I'm going to break it down little by little. It was in Chicago, all out. Rumor has it. I'm just kidding. It's not a rumor. CM Punk was fired. I'm sure we'll talk about that 876 more times. But there was a video me and Boom Boom did talk about that already. So now that the elephant's out of the room, let's break down the wrestling. Hangman Page wins the over-the-budget charity battle royal. I don't know if Boom Boom got to see this one or not, but Chicago loved them. There was a thing where Chicago was going to take over, and there was a couple with the Young Bucks where they were upset, but when it came to Adam Page, people were super happy. When it came to the rest of the Elite, people were super happy. They got a little snarky with the Young Bucks, but the Young Bucks, they're just snark magnets, you know what I mean? But overall, great way to start off the pay-per-view. And big balls by fucking Tony. I know a lot of people are like, oh, if I was Tony, I would throw and break his fucking back. And if anyone told me that, it's like, holy shit, calm down, Twitter. Calm down. Did you see that one, Boom Boom? Because I know you showed up a little bit late.
Yes. I watched that one on YouTube. Yes, I did.
Okay. What did you think about it, sir?
I think it was good for what it was. I mean, it was quick. It was all for a good cause too, so you really can't get upset about it. I was actually, to your point, I was actually shocked at the positive response that Hangman Page got. In fact, I thought since it was going to be in Chicago, and after everything that's gone down in the past 24 hours, God, I can't. It feels like it's longer than that, but it's only been 24 hours. I felt like the Elite were going to get booed mercilessly. I thought fans are going to hijack the show. And so when Hangman Page came out and people cheered, I was actually shocked.
Yeah. And the crazy part is, too, it's like when Chicago's tired of your shit, it might be time to move on. The only thing I didn't like about it, and this is just me being Japanese and, like, there's a Japanese culture thing, and I'm not Japanese, but I lived in Japanese for 20 years, and I do believe in this version of their culture. I thought it was weird that Nigel went out in the middle and said, they're giving it to Chicago. It's just like, give the fucking money to Chicago. Don't fucking do that. But I'm in a minority because you Americans rub your nipples off for fucking celebrities giving out money. You know why? I think it's because you don't give money. I don't think it's because you do a good thing. Otani said something great one day. He was in the middle of an interview, and they asked him about his charity work, and they said, oh, you give a lot of money to charity. And he just raised his hand and whispered to his translator, and he said, please don't talk about this because you're taking away my honor. I don't know. Everything, it's like, dun, 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 dun. Big number make me feel good. I don't do anything, but someone else's big number makes me feel good. I don't know. That might just be a culture difference. I might be old. You know, you guys, you can do charity. You can feed the homeless and do charity without fucking a camera, right? Boom, boom. Do Americans know this?
There are a few, because they say sometimes the best charity is anonymous. So there are a few.
Tiger Mask. Next, you got Sheeta, Willow Nightingale, and Sky Blue. Defeat Athena, Mercedes Martinez, and Diamante. I always think I'm saying her name wrong. Am I saying her name wrong? You look like the type of guy that knows how to pronounce Diamante.
Yeah, Diamante.
Diamante. Perfect. I thought it was great, and Athena and Sheeta get a huge pop by being in a ring together was cool. I'm hoping after this pay-per-view, we'll see more one-on-one feuds. I'm getting tired of... I'm not, like, pro-women, but I'm also not anti-women. But just having women on the card for the sake of having a women on the card, I think is, like, the worst of both worlds. Just say, fuck the women, or say, no, let's give them a fair shot. But pretending they're getting a fair shot when they're always in, like, 8-on-8 matches... Come on, dude. This ain't a New Japan undercard.
I know who ate the pinfall in that one.
I have no idea. Let me see if I can fucking find it. Sheeta. Off the ropes. Oh, by the way, my source today is cagesideseats.com. No affiliation whatsoever. I'm reading this last one. All right, off the ropes. Both women trip up and take it to the floor. Athena prowls after Sky, and Nightingale pounces her into the barricade. Martinez comes off, whips into the barricade. Back inside, Diamante hammers her with the punches. Fireman's carry, tag to Blue. Super kick, assisted Death Valley driver. Sky off the ropes. I'm pretty sure that doesn't say how fucking that head. Oh, wait. Windfall by... I could have just read the fucking... Who the fuck actually reads wrestling results outside of fucking little shit? All right, so Hakita, Sky Blue, Nightingale win by pinfall with code Blue from Blue on Diamante. So there you go.
Okay, on Diamante. I thought what they were doing is they were going to have... I thought they were going to have Athena eat the pin, and so that way it would set up a new challenger, but I think it was just to get Sky Blue on the card and get the hometown girl to win.
Yeah. And I don't know... She, you know, in New Japan world, she reminds me of like a young lion, like, you know, like she's like the female Master Wato, except she's instead of Japan, she's from Chicago. Like, there's times where she looks like she has tons of potential, and there's times you're like, what the hell? All right, next you got the Acclaim with Dennis Rodman returning to the Chicago Bulls. Defeat Jeff Jarrett, Singh, and Jay Lethal. This was all comedy. This was to get Dennis Rodman to come back home. Crazy that he hasn't been back to Chicago in 11 years. Insane.
Yeah,
but
I want to know how much it cost to get Dennis Rodman to do this. Because, I mean, you know this was last second.
I imagine you're right, but I don't know. Because, like, sometimes I used to, like, I used to work for very wealthy people. And you'd have to book concerts and celebrities sometimes, you know? It's like, hey, can you book this guy? And you'd be surprised. Sometimes you can get a great band for very little money, or a celebrity for very little money. And then sometimes, I guess it's just the asking price, really. I don't know. That is a good question, because he is an NBA Hall of Famer, one of the best. He did have some political issues. People worship their leaders, so they get their fucking nannies in a bunch. So,
no, I'm not gonna get. No, never mind. Just keep going.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that bothers people, so that probably brings down his price, you know. But, I don't know. It's a complete mystery. It's a complete mystery, but I thought it was worth it. Chicago Bulls were tweeting out like crazy, and he has wrestling things. I thought he'd be smoother in ring, though. He has a lot of wrestling training. He has not been keeping up with that training. But the guitar shot, it was just pure sports entertainment. And I don't know about you. I'm not a big fan of comedy and sports entertainment, but you put in a real life athlete, I'm on board. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, fucking, you got a tight end from the Tennessee Titans. Oh, you got a small forward from the Golden State Warriors. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know why. Having a real athlete or a celebrity that can wrestle makes it okay. It's like, okay, I'll let this one slide. Yeah, just gotta slide it by. But overall, the best way to describe it is fun. There you go. All right, so next next starts the pay-per-view, and you got MJF and Adam Cole defeat Alex Reynolds and John Silver. They told a big story. MJF's neck was hurt. He leaves. He comes back to the Heroes Pop. Double clothesline. I like Dark Order. I just don't think they should have won this match. They didn't win. I should have phrased that differently. But at the very end, Samoa Joe walking down the ring and pushes him. And it was kind of cool because people thought it was a CM Punk reference, but it was actually a reference, I believe, in WWE NXT, but I could be wrong, where MJF was an extra and Samoa Joe just pushed him. So, and not only that, but MJF or Samoa Joe, that just seems interesting to me. I just like where it's going. I wouldn't mind that feud at all. Boom Booms, what are your thoughts on that match?
It wound up being a really good, entertaining match. I think it was a great way to start off the pay-per-view. I like the fact that we got a kangaroo kick, a double clothesline. We had some drama. We had MJF teasing the neck. I think it's playing in the storyline. You're not concerned about Roddy getting his neck hurt, but you're concerned about MJF getting his neck hurt. And when Samoa Joe shoved MJF, I'm like, is this the next feud they're building to? Because I'm actually kind of intrigued.
Yeah, I would enjoy that feud tremendously. That leads to Samoa Joe defeat Shane Taylor. I thought this was a good match, but there was something that I disagree with most of it, but it kind of like, you hear critiques and you're like, that's kind of wrong, but then this one hits it. I think, with back-to-back pay-per-views, them not really booking All Out until like a week out, I thought this would have been a way better match if they built up Shane Taylor for non-ROH fans. Because I bought ROH and I never watched it, so I canceled it.
Because on ROH TV, they had like a tournament, and Shane Taylor won that tournament to challenge Samoa Joe. So this is how this came about. So it wasn't like just random, but here's the thing. I think Honor Club only has like 10,000 subscribers, so only like 10,000 fans would actually know what was going on.
Yeah, so they have to break that down on the shows and stuff. And I supported Ring of Honor, but when I first started getting back into YouTube reviews or just pro wrestling in general as a fucking nerd, I'm retired, so I'm a full-time nerd. I was like, I'm going to cover everything. It was like overwhelming. And now I'm like, I'll cover AEW, WWE pay-per-views, Noah, and New Japan. And this weekend was even overwhelming. Thank God New Japan had the weekend off. There's just a lot of pro wrestling. But yeah, Samoa Joe wins. Super happy for him and starts up a thing. Luchasaurus defeats Darby Allin, which I think was not a surprise result, but a surprise match. I thought this was a really good match, and Christian is so good at being a heel. Just absolutely fantastic. And I don't know about you, maybe I was overthinking it. When at the very end of the match, Luchasaurus does get the win. They're gonna concerto. I apologize if I mispronounced that move. They're gonna concerto him. I thought Edge was gonna come out. I was like, is this Edge's cue? It's like, nope. But just the roster came out. I don't know. Do you think they were teasing that, or do you think that's a nerd looking into? Is this a 6 or a 9? Looking into it a little too much.
Yeah, I think this is a case of a nerd looking. Is this a 6 or a 9? Yeah. This match to me was completely overbooked. I think with the way the rest of the pay-per-view played out, I think blood in this was completely unnecessary to get across the point they were trying to get across. I think I hope the feud between Darby and Luchasaurus is over, but maybe this opens up the door for Nick Wayne now to have a feud with Christian Cage, which I think would be appropriate because that's somebody you'd want the rookie to work with.
I'm kind of hoping the feud is over, so because like Darby Allin has a whole nother storyline with Nick Wayne and his other enemies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of hoping it's over, and we'll see where Luchasaurus and Christian go next. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Next, another surprise. This is back-to-back surprise. There's a lot of surprises tonight. Miro defeats Powerhouse Hobbs. This was a fun match. They were chanting about meat, meat forever and all that. Big E, big men. But here's the thing. Big men that can go, like back in the 80s when we were kids, 80s, early 90s, it was just giant men who couldn't wrestle. 90% of them. 90% of wrestlers couldn't fucking wrestle, And then it came, we're cruiserweights. Look at this. We can do amazing things. And then that took off, especially after the steroid trial. But now we live in a world where there are great big man wrestlers that get kind of lost on every roster. Like I said, I watch New Japan, I watch Noah, watch WWE, and I watch AEW. Those are the 4 I'm focusing on right now. I'll probably grow more. I dabble in other stuff. All 4 of those companies have big men that get lost in a shuffle that can go. So it was nice to see it. I enjoyed it. The one thing I did not enjoy was his wife appearing, just because this was Stephanie McMahon booking at its finest. And if you are not willing to take a bump or get hit by a man, like with Suzuki and Asuka, DDT, TJPW, Tanahashi and New Japan, if you are not willing to be a professional wrestler and you are a woman and you confront a man and the man does nothing, I've said this to Stephanie McMahon and I'm saying it again, that gets little girls beat up. You can't show there's no consequences. Now, people say, oh, you overreact. The men have consequences. The women versus women have consequences. But there's always some fucking Stephanie McMahon character where there's no consequences. I don't know. You gotta fucking have consequences. That's it. I thought it was a great match with probably one of the shittiest fucking storylines ever. And Miro just left. He was like, thanks for fucking ruining my spot. I don't know if that's what he said, but boom, boom. What did you think of the match? And then what did you think about the segment?
I think the match actually over-delivered. These are two guys who sadly have not been getting a lot of TV time, and they gave them about 15 minutes, roughly. I don't have the exact time, but it was right around 15 minutes. They made the most of it. They put on a hell of a match. Crowd was completely into it. Then, let's see, her WWE name was Lana. Her real name is CJ Perry. So we'll just go with CJ for right now. She comes out there, and I was just like, what in the world's going on? And then Miro's like looking at her like he's not expecting her to be there. And I think you made a point off air. You were saying, like, look, they got all these women on the roster. You know, why can't you use one of those instead of bringing in a new girl?
Well, and all that, but like, it makes the women's, and out of that, but you have this run-in where the woman pays no consequences whatsoever, and then you have two great athletes going at it, female athletes, that kind of ruin their match. It's like, any fucking women with tits can fucking scare down any athlete. Oh, here's two great women athletes. Like, I don't know, it reminds me of Futurama with Leela as the first base Blurmsbog player. It's like, you're a fucking embarrassment to women. Maybe I'm going too hard on her. But fucking, you're an embarrassment to women. Like, how the fuck do you go out there and have everyone scared of you and then have two legit fucking women wrestlers follow it? How do you do that? You got to take women seriously or not at all. You can't just use them as little fucking tokens to say, look at us, we're good guys. You have to decide. Do you treat them equally? Because let me tell you, it would be like if it was David Arquette or Bobby the Brain Heenan or Jimmy Hart or Paul Heyman. Would he have stood there waiting for her husband or the other guy to get up? Probably not. I don't know. Boom's going too hard or just the right amount?
I think we're going a little too hard going off on a tangent. I mean, you've made your point.
All right. Now, the real women athletes. Chris Stratlander defeats Ruby Soho. I enjoyed this match. I'm just hoping that Toni Storm just stops whatever character she's doing. Toni Storm is one of the best female wrestlers in the world. I got to watch her in Japan. I got to watch her overseas. I've been a big fan of Toni Storm for a long time. I despise the character she is right now. It's such a fucking insult. It is embarrassing. And if you're an AEW sweaty making fun of WWE gimmicks, you can't. This is a horrible fucking gimmick. And if she came up with it herself, shame on you. Be better. Just fucking be better. It's fucking horrible. I don't know. I enjoyed the match, and it looks like there's tension between the women's NWO. I'm sorry, Green DX NWO women's. What are they called?
The Outcast.
The Outcast. So, I don't know. I just hope it makes Toni Storm be fucking normal and a good wrestler again. Because when she first came in, she wasn't trying because she was a face. Then she's a heel and you get great matches. And now she's a heel who's fucking annoying. It's like, for the love of God, just be a good wrestler, woman. You can do it. Boom, boom, your thoughts on the match?
The match itself was better than what I thought it was going to be. I think it maybe went just a touch too long, but nothing too bad. Statlander, she's really, I think this is one of her better matches, but I mean, she's really not grabbing me as the TBS champion like Jade Cargill did.
Yeah, they had something special with Jade.
Yeah, they had something special, and I guess maybe this is not her fault. You know, when you capture lightning in a bottle, and then when you go to the next thing, it's gonna pale in comparison.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. And I agree with you on Tony Storm. I mean, it's only been a week since the incident in Wembley, but the whole "I'm going crazy" thing, I'm like, no, I'm not a fan of this. Can we please stop?
Yeah, whatever you're doing, stop. Like, if you show up on Dynamite or Collision or Dark or Rampage or, I don't know, your local Wendy's, wherever you show up and you just say, hey, dude, that was really fucking dumb and I'm going to stop doing that, that would be really cool. That would be the best ending to that story. Just come on television and be like, yeah, that was really fucking dumb, wasn't it? You know, you can have Renee there and she'll just nod. Yeah, that was dumb. Okay, thank you. And that's the end of that story. I'm okay with that ending. Now, and go out there and just have great matches. There you go. Speaking of guys that have great matches, bring. Yeah, Brian Danielson, how you doing? Oh, let's call him up on the Gaijin hotline. Bring. Yo, Brian Danielson. Yeah. We need you. I know you're recovering. Broken arm, you say. Great. Yeah, we really need you for Chicago. I know. Are you recovering? Are you on vacation? You like your time off? Yeah, we had a situation. All right, I'll see you. Yeah, don't worry. Don't check in with the doctor. You'll be fine. Just wrap that shit up. All right, there you go. We got him back. The American Dragon is back. Brian Danielson defeats Ricky Starks. Of course, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was there. It was a bloody mess. Brian Danielson looked amazing. And I think this was the perfect match. If Brian Danielson was still hurt, it's the perfect match to hide that. Plus, coming out with, you know, the music, the fans. It was just an all-around fun match. Bloody deal. Strap match. And what were your thoughts on it, sir?
Match of the night, in my opinion. Match of the night.
Really?
This completely saved the show. God bless Brian Danielson. He's still hurt. He probably shouldn't be wrestling. I know they talked about bringing him back for Wrestle Dream, which is the beginning of October, and they were saying if he gets cleared for that, it would probably be like that day. I mean, it was going to be close.
Yeah.
Going to be like super close if he got cleared at all. And the fact that he came back and still wrestled with that, or his arm was still wrapped up, and props to Ricky Starks for taking care of him. As far as I could see, he really didn't attack that arm. They didn't draw any attention to it. They put up a lot of smoke and mirrors to get through this match. But I think they executed and pulled off a wonderful match. Maybe the blood was a little too much. I know it added to the atmosphere, but just with the way they were hitting each other with a strap, that really sold the brutality, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I guess maybe I can let the blood slide on this one, but
you're very
overall,
anti-blood.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. It's diminishing returns. They had 3 matches where people bled.
That's true.
And I'm like, well, how many times was it absolutely positively necessary?
See,
and if it's one of those, would it still be awesome? Like, you know, with Darby Allin, you know, could he still sell the brutality without bleeding? Yes. Could they sell the brutality of the strap match without the blood? Yes.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, you really didn't need to do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not anti-blood, but there are people that are anti-blood. Like people are like,
I'm not
oh my God, there's
anti-blood.
blood.
I'm just saying. You know, when you have multiple people bleeding in the same area, you know, I know they change out the canvas and everything, and they clean off the ropes, you know,
Dude,
in between matches.
Expensive as fuck.
Yeah, but you know, I'm just saying, you know, why take that chance? You know, I mean, you're dealing with body fluids.
Got it. I don't know. I just never cared. Maybe I'm an asshole. Never cared once. One of us is more passionate about this than others. Next, you got Claudio, Wheeler Yuta. I thought this was a cool down match, but still did a good job. Claudio and Wheeler Yuta defeat Eddie Kingston and Shibata. I've said this a million times. I'll say it a million times. Shibata as the pure champion is just pure genius because of his concussion problems. It is so clever and so smart. And I called this on predictions, and I thought it was just the best part of the story. I think Claudio pinning Eddie was fucking money. I enjoyed this match, but it definitely felt like a cool down. It felt like a cool down in its spot. What did you think of the match?
I think it was a good match. I didn't know what to really expect coming out of it. It just makes me want a little bit more. I actually want to see Eddie Kingston get a one-on-one match with Claudio Castagnoli, and I want Eddie to get the win.
I mean, that's probably going to happen down the road. Because not only that, but one of them's the New Japan Strong match. One is the ROH champion. That'd be cool if one of them had both titles. Even if that was Claudio. I just want to see Claudio in New Japan. You know where this was going, Boom Boom. You literally knew where this was going, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Enjoyable. Next, Takeshita defeats Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega comes out in his old, a shout out, I guess, a tribute to his DDT gear. Takeshita defeats him. There is some shenanigans, but overall, it's a great match. And once again, AEW is doing a lot of stuff to help get people over. My DDT heart was really happy about this match. I enjoyed this match, but it started to feel like it was a little past Chicago's bedtime after the entrance. And then with the interference, they just weren't buying it. I feel like obviously it's going to bring heat, and they got a feud going longer. But a lot of pro wrestling fans want to see the clean match, as far as that goes. But overall, I enjoyed it. I thought in-ring wise, it was best match of the night. But it was an overall good pay-per-view from top to bottom. Boom Boom, say it with me. DDT. 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 Thanks, Booms. Yeah, like Booms like, it's 4:00 in the morning where I am. I'm not fucking chanting DDT. Booms, what did you think of this DDT Dream match?
I was actually shocked. It actually, I know you said DDT, but it actually kind of reminded me of a New Japan style match, that was playing out on pay-per-view. And I was shocked with the result. I thought Omega was finally gonna, get the win over Takeshita. But no, Kenny put him over, and I was shocked because this is 2 weeks in a row where Takeshita's got the pin on Omega.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, and I'm not the guy to bash CM Punk. I've never done that before. Look at the last month. Every single person in the company is helping people get over except the one. I just think everyone in the company is helping someone else get over. And I find that to be interesting and awesome.
Say what you want about the say what you want about the elite, but they're putting other people over.
Oh, 100%, 100%. And so, I mean, a lot of people are putting people over. It's just everyone's doing the right thing to move the company forward, and hopefully it will keep that way going forward. A lot of people thought this was match of the night, and I'm not going to argue with them. You got Bullet Club Gold. Yeah, I know it's one of those things. Yeah, it's preference. But Bullet Club Gold defeat FTR and the Young Bucks. I thought, and you know me, I'll throw people under the bus when it's a fucking bag of ass, especially when it comes to booking. A lot of people like, I don't know. I used to be a booker, so kind of like how Boom Boom works in television. So if fucking there's a television mess up, he's gonna shit his pants faster than most. Same thing with me as far as booking goes. And I'm being 1-3 on the table. I thought this was done perfectly. This was fucking pure fucking magic. Absolutely done perfect. I usually nitpick and be like, oh, you could do this, you could do this. It was fucking done perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. I fucking loved this match. It was so well done. And, any of the last 3 matches, you could easily say match of the night, and it just depends on what your type of match is. And that's a good pay-per-view. Yeah, I enjoyed it. This is one of those I'll go back and watch again. Like storyline wise, every aspect of this match, effort, trying, storyline, finish, everything was probably perfect, in my opinion. You know, obviously people would like, I'd like to see my favorite guys win all the time, you know, but it's perfect. Every fucking buddy moves forward. And that is hard on a 4-on-4 match. Trust me, I watched New Japan. Sorry. All right, Booms, what are your thoughts on it?
On the big tag match there, I think it was overbooked, and I think it ran a little too long.
What?
Yeah.
What? Go ahead. Explain.
Well, it was. I mean, I think the right team won, and at least they didn't go to the story I thought they were going to tell. I thought they were going to tell the story of FTR, and the books couldn't quite get along and everything, and that lack of cohesion was going to cost them. But no, for the most part, they tagged up, they teamed up, and the crowd, yeah, they booed the Young Bucks a little bit, but they ultimately got behind them because they hit each other's finishers. You had one of the, with the Shatter Machine, and then the BTE trigger, and it was just a lot of breakups. It was a little crazy, but you had, I think it was it Colton getting the pin on.
It was one of the FTR members. I think the bald one.
No, it was Cash. I think Cash
got it.
I think Cash got the pin. Sorry, I had to go through the Rolodex of my brain right there trying to replay that one. And I wonder if this means Bullet Club Gold is going to be going after the tag titles again now.
Yeah. Well, there's internet reports. Not that the internet has. I don't know. I feel like people's opinion on the internet is everything is wrong or everything is right. But there are reports on the internet, take it with a grain of salt, that Daniel Bryan is going to take over Collision, and their main mission is going to be to build up Bullet Club Gold. That's what the internet told me. That's what the internet told me.
This is another good opportunity. Is AEW really doesn't have like a New Japan style faction, in the sense that you've got like your tag team specialists. So they're going to be the guys in the faction who specifically go after the tag titles. Or you've got your heavyweight title specialist, the guy, the leader, the person who's specifically going to go after the heavyweight title, or the guy, or in this case, like the guy who's going to go after the TV title, or the guy who's going to go after the international title. I think I may see that with Bullet Club Gold. So, and that would be a good change. Good change for AEW fans.
And the Combat Club is kind of close to that. They don't have the tag team. And while you were talking, Boom Boom, I came up with an idea. I like the way you were thinking, and I can fix one problem and solve another. And Sid's Light always brings this up. There isn't women in factions, like, except for like maybe Best Friends. I think but there isn't a lot of women in factions. Tony Storm drops the worst fucking gimmick ever and joins Bullet Club Gold. That's all I'm saying. And then that's who represents Bullet Club Gold in women's matches. The greatest idea ever? I don't know. I've been watching wrestling for 87 hours in a row.
I think it might help, because imagine if you're a woman, like, let's say, I'm not saying this person should join, but what if you took somebody like Mercedes Martinez and put her in the Blackpool Combat Club?
Yeah.
Or you took somebody like Diamante and put her in the Mogul Embassy.
I think that'd be awesome.
You have them working with other people and training, and they get better. And I'm not saying anybody's bad here. I'm not saying this is what should happen.
It would be good. It would be good, seriously and storyline wise. And not only that, but you have a lot of women on the roster whom English isn't their first language. So that would be perfect. I have no idea why managers and factions don't hide weaknesses anymore. There's something that happened where it's like, I'm great at everything, you're great at everything, so is he, let's make a faction. It's like, no. The reason why Luger was in the Horsemen is because Luger couldn't fucking cut a promo. Remember when Lex Luger was in the Horsemen? Did you ever think we'd have a Luger for Horsemen nostalgia moment on AEW All Out 2023?
I can honestly say no. I don't think
Put that on your
ever saw
bingo
that
card.
coming.
All right, let's talk main event. John Moxley defeats Orange Cassidy. I enjoyed the living hell out of this match. It was bloody. Orange Cassidy has told a great story. He's won over a lot of fans. I barely knew who Orange Cassidy was. Like, I feel like I was when he went to AEW. A lot of people on Twitch, Top Hat, and a few others were like, "Oh, he's coming to AEW. You should check him out." That's how I discovered him. So I wasn't early on the bandwagon.
Mhm.
And I was like, I don't know if this is going to work out. He's really interesting. And it worked out beyond belief. What a title run. And a great stiff match. There was blood everywhere. And on top of that, Chicago giving him a thank you, Orange. I think it was a thank you, Orange chant.
Yes.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, it's kind of weird because, like, I think it's a good pay per view is when you could say which match is the best or worst
Mhm.
with like no, well, I mean not worse, but it's a good pay per view when you ask someone what the best match was. Maybe you ask 5 people and there's 5 different matches. I think that's a good sign of a pay per view. I think some people would pick this as match of the night, and I enjoyed it. What were your thoughts on it, sir?
I really enjoyed it. It was great. And did Moxley not bleed in this?
I think he only had Orange Cassidy's blood on him. I could be wrong. I
Because
wasn't I wasn't there measuring blood. I'm not the blood police. Boom boom
because
blood police.
I mean Moxley blows his nose, he fucking bleeds. So
Yeah.
he didn't. I mean that really shocked me. And my wife actually had the line of the night
All right.
about, and she was, if it wasn't for professional wrestling, John Moxley would be a serial killer.
Probably right. 10 out of 10. There's probably a lot of people like that. Poor Moxley. First off, Moxley, every time Punk acts like a jerk, I think it's happened like 3 times in 2 different companies, Moxley wins gold. Do you think Moxley like just goes to Punk and like Punk's just angry and he just goes to him like, dude, you won't fucking. He just said he's gonna use real glass. You gonna stand for that? And Moxley's like, here comes the gold. um, but yeah, no. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I give it a win, and yeah, and not only that, but Moxley travels. I think Orange Cassidy had one hell of a run, and it probably should have been the TNT Championship. The only
Mhm.
problem with his run was he's like, I went to Winnipeg for the international title, but I think Moxley will actually travel. And that's one thing that had Pac is because like it was weird. Like he was the international champ, but the TNT champ was in Tokyo. I was like, what? Why is the TNT champ here, but not the international champ? So hopefully they fix that problem. And Moxley, works with New Japan and pretty much works with whoever the fuck he wants. Literally, like, there was an event, and New Japan's like, we'll never book that guy. Moxley's like, yes, we will. I'm like, all right, let's do it. You know what I mean? Moxley. So he has the pull like that. And he travels around the world. Hell, dude, I'm
Mhm.
sure if Tony Khan didn't like kind of step in and be like, "Hey, stop doing that," he'd probably wrestle probably 3 or 4 times a week. So overall, I enjoyed it. Any final thoughts, sir? I know you got work tomorrow.
Yeah, overall, great pay per view. Um, I mean, I really wish they would have had more time to promote it, but I think when the history of AEW is written, and I think what's going to be written is AEW succeeded despite itself sometimes. It really needed, when people needed to step up, they stepped up.
Mm.
Danielson probably should not have been wrestling tonight. He probably should not have been doing what he was doing, but the company needed him, and he came off the bench hurt and delivered, in my opinion, the match of the night.
And I just want to say something else too, as far as like people bailing out. There's reports once again online that Moxley and Orange Cassidy were supposed to have this match down the line with a build up. So they had to step in too. You know what I mean? According to reports, this was not. This was scheduled later with a build up. So, well, hopefully they keep control. And yeah, And I'm getting a lot of WWE keeps control of their locker room. How do they keep control of their locker room? I'm really fucking confused by that.
I don't think they do.
I know, but everyone's like, hey, dude, AEW had a problem. You got to be professional like WWE. Has anyone worked for WWE? Like, the list could go on forever. Running a wrestling company is hard, and hopefully now they'll run it like the NFL. You know, like the good thing about the NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, for most circumstances, they already have rules. And for AEW and WWE, which they both need to improve on, you know, I know you love to rub your nipples to corporations. It's like, oh, if you do this, this is the penalty. If you do this, this is the penalty. You know, most professional leagues, there are examples, but they try not to use those examples. But most professional leagues, you did this, this is the punishment. You do this, this is the punishment. And sometimes it gets off, but compared to how far wrestling is, it's like entertainment and sports are so far ahead of you. Like, there are examples where it's like the NFL's like, they punish this guy for this and this and that, but it's nothing like this. And I'm glad, but they keep improving. So hopefully AEW and WWE, rub your fucking corporate nipples, boys. Hopefully they improve and just get it going. I think the UFC is improved, so maybe the new TKO faction, it's not a faction, but a merger, they'll have it. We're like, nope, this is the new rules. So, I don't know. I'm excited where AEW is going, and I think tribalism needs to kind of come to an end because Noah, there was so much great wrestling. Too much, to be honest. Too much. I remember when it was over, I was happy, but I was also happy that I don't have to watch wrestling for about 48 hours. Yesterday, Booms, I watched AEW. I watched WWE, AEW, and Noah. It was 12 hours of wrestling, sir.
I believe
12 hours of wrestling. Boom, boom. I know you got work tomorrow. Tell the missus I said hello. YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. We're KocoSports on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook, the mean streets of Yokohama, and of course, on the campus of Troy. Did Troy win this weekend, sir?
yes, they did.
Go, Troy, go. With that, I am over. Ba-da-na-na-na. Hey, ba-dum, boom, boom, boom.